You know, you think, take two. You know, the thing that you have to have in the world of politics is a very good memory, particularly, as you know, chums, in this day and age, simply because we all have a better memory, all thanks to things like this. That's right. Digital platforms, you know, we can put notes in, we're not scratching around looking for a pen and paper, and we're not quite sure what that particular individual said when they did the interview, remember. You know, when you think about it, say in the great days of, say, Margaret Thatcher, Winston Churchill, Jim Callaghan and stuff, you saw that interview once and then really that was it, wasn't it? Now you can instantly recall it, somebody can find it on Twitter or Facebook or whatever and replay it. And this is really the problem for the current British government. Keir Starmer, told you before, he wouldn't be my choice for a lawyer simply because he could never tell the truth. It's always a stack, literally a stack of lies. Now here's one that really he doesn't want reminded of, but I've reminded him that this is the problem. See, 7 months ago, he decided that he was going to put a digital dashboard that we could all access, that you and I, right? So we could look at exactly what he was doing and the promises that he made and whether he'd stuck to them. You imagine how bad this would look now with all the U-turns that he's done, you know? He's done more U-turns than Noddy in his car, but there lies your problem. But you see, the other problem is literally the whole of his cabinet lie because he does. That is your problem. Once the top lies, they feel it's fine for them. Heidi Alexandra, our current transport minister, basically telling you and I that we should all get electric cars and all of that. Asked, do you have one? Oh no, she didn't have one. No, because the car was only 7 years old, but no. But you've got to do it, you see. Just lie to suit themselves, whatever. This woman has taken it to a whole new level. Yes, the crying game of Rachel Reeves. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me. Nice to have your company. It's a funny thing, you know, in this job. Even on this job, you get the comments of really strange, like a woman said yesterday, I think it was a woman, Neil, why are you showing pictures of Brighton when you're talking about Eastbourne? It's called the seaside. You know, we were talking about Brighton, Bournemouth. You know, you cannot really account for people's stupidity. I mean, truly, that's what you have to think, you know. And then another person says, oh, Neil, you know, you didn't mention X area. If we mentioned everywhere, we'd never finish. You see what I'm saying? Stupidity comes in many forms, right? Now, here's the problem that I find with a lot of things. You see, you get caught out time and time again. Now, here's where I find this funny. Rachel Reeves, as we know, lied on her CV, claimed she was an economist, all of that sort of stuff. And Keir Starmer, an allegedly a respected lawyer, well, he stood by her. Now, nobody dares say anything to Rachel in case she bursts into tears again and makes an absolute shower of herself in front of the world. Everybody's on eggshells, and I know this for a fact, being in Downing Street on a regular basis. Right, Rachel? But she absolutely has some front, brass neck, whatever you want to call it. A couple of days ago, she went to this thing to launch an incentive about playing chess. And you think, oh, right, okay. But you see, even that turned out to be a tissue of lies because Rachel claimed that she was the under 14th chess champion. Turns out she wasn't. It's been proven. But this was a story that, you know, the mainstream media, the likes of ITV, BBC, Channel 4, the ones that apparently we respect so much, well, they perpetuated and put out. It is there in black and white. She was not that champion. Now, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier on. Does the British Prime Minister say, you know, you're making me look stupid because you're continually lying, not only tanking the British economy, but now basically saying you were a champion, basically claiming that you were an economist. The woman is a brazen liar. But when you add them all up, you know, the likes of Darren Jones, who said it's just children coming in on these boats. He wears glasses. Perhaps he needs to go to Specsavers. There are so many problems with all of these individual loonies that are now running our once great island. But this man really takes the biscuit. Take a look at this picture. This is Sadiq Khan at Wimbledon. Yes, the caramel suit, the very expensive designer glasses, and more so, the very expensive watch, which he has protection because of his security and his 4x4 armour-plated cars. But according to a source, and as ever I have to say allegedly, he wants a copy of that picture because he thinks it makes him look cool. That's what this focus is about, and that's exactly why we're in such a hole currently in the United Kingdom. Projects, charlatans, scammers, cheats and liars. That is, of course, what's currently making up the people that are supposed to protect us. Neil Shawn, Kensington, London.